So the sun was out a minute ago. It came out as soon as I got to the reform stand in my local town. I'm a bit knackered, but it was so good and inspiring and motivating because the vibe was so positive. Literally 99% of the people were so engaging and so positive about reform. And so many said they were already going to be voting for us, didn't need a leaflet, they'd already read up on it. I think so many just seemed inspired again by having something new to choose. And, you know, the frustration and annoyance that everyone has with the two main parties, and you can just see the apathy and the kind of disregard people have now for those parties. It was really inspiring. And the two most interesting people I came across, one was a young girl who was with her dad, and he was very pro-Brexit. He was a really articulate guy. And she was just stood really listening, and I kind of engaged with her and asked her opinions, because the young ones, you tend to presume a Labour, having come out of the socialist indoctrination camps. And she was studying politics. I forgot to ask where. And, I had a really honest chat with her, and she just said how biased the politics subject is at uni, and all the lecturers and subject matter they cover is so pro-Labour and pro-socialism and anti-capitalism, anti-conservative. And I'm just like, where has that come from? How has that been allowed? Like, our education used to be so revered across the world, and it was generally because of the conservative kind of values. And Britain, as much as you can say sometimes capitalism can be bad, was built on that. And there's no successful country really that is pure socialist. Won't go down that whole subject matter, but she just said it was blatant bias in the education. And where do we start with that? It needs complete reform. And then the other guy that I absolutely loved was an 18-year-old voting for the first time, had military parents, the mum was a teacher actually, and he was at the local high school. He was so switched on, and again I was just so happily surprised that he was really emboldened by reform and what they had to offer, and saw through all the bullshit of Labour and the Conservatives. And he, as an 18-year-old, was really worried about mass immigration. Just how societies were going to cope with the size of Birmingham coming in every year, and the economic impacts of that, and the social cohesion. And he understands it's nothing to do with race, it's just economics, satisfaction, and just the happiness of communities. And he was all for reform, and it was so nice to see. It gave me real hope that there are a lot of young who are seeing through the bullshit, and who are sick and tired of being told not to be patriotic, not to stand for your military and your flag and law and order, and for families, and to stand against the woke bullshit and the socialist indoctrination. And he said a lot of his friends were thinking the same. So that was wonderful. And he was a real fantastic advert for his school that he goes to. And I pray more are like him. He was so eloquent and intelligent. And the only few bad comments or people just shouting, not reform, not Farage, no. They all just shouted that they were voting Labour. And I just like, what is it about the socialist side, that side of people that are so angry and bullish and mean and divisive? I invited them to come and have a conversation. They weren't having it. the wall is just completely up, and they're so obtuse and, yeah, just bullish. But as I said, 99% of the vibe we got from people was so positive, and it was such a lovely feeling, again, of just bringing politics back to the people. Gave me real hope.